Okay, here's how to start using photopea as your video editor. The first thing you're going to do is go to photopea.com. To open up an image, you can use open from computer. New project would be if you want to start something new. If I can click open from computer and go to it, or I can go file open. So I'm going to go open from computer, and I know the image I want is in download, so I'm going to go to downloads, and I could always go view icons, but there's my image right there. Now if it was on the desktop in a folder, I could certainly go through that and I could look and see what I want, but I know this one's in downloads because I downloaded it just a minute ago. So I'm going to hit open, and then sometimes you got to wait a minute. It really depends because it's web-based. It'll depend on your software. Here I've got my image. It's a really nice image, and the only thing I think I'm going to do to it is warm it up a bit. Over here is my layers, and the layer means I can mess with it without hurting it. But first let's just crop it. So a basic crop is over here on crop. I can click on that, and then I get these different options. Free means I can crop it any way I want, which is fine, but if I want to print it, I'm going to hit X to say no, I don't want to do that, cancel. Then I want to pick something different. So I'm going to go fixed ratio, and here a 1:1 gets me a square, see? 4:6 or 4:6, which is a pretty standard print. If I hit that and hit enter, you can see that this camera, because it's a APC size sensor SLR, it's shooting at 4:6 anyway, so it's a perfect crop, right? Let's make it an 8:10. So width 8, height 10. I'm gonna hit enter. There it is, and I might even want to crop in a little bit to her just for the sake of this image. There, so if I just hit the checkbox, she's now cropped. To zoom in and out, I can just go over here to my tools. I just finished cropping. Now I'm going to go to my zoom tool. Up here I can go plus or minus. So plus allows me to zoom in, minus allows me to zoom out, so I can see the whole image. If I wanted to do, say later on, I wanted to do a bit of sharpening to her face, I could do that. I would zoom in to do that. But for now, I'm going to zoom out. So there we go. Over here, because I'm going to make some changes, I'm going to make a copy. So on background, I'm going to drag it down to this like next page thingy. And when I go down to do that, it makes a copy of the image. That way I can work on the top one. And if I screw up, I can just start over. I can erase it and start over. And I'll show you what that means. So say I were to do something dumb and by mistake, do this. It's just on a copy. I can take that copy, I can delete it, and I can make a fresh copy of the background. These are called layers, and that's a really important part of Photoshop. It's what makes it so powerful. Okay, so let's play with color very, very simply. I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and I can do different things. These are all color. Vibrance, Hue, Saturation, Color Balance, Black and White, Photo Filter. Let's try Vibrance first. And Vibrance is simply how much of that color shows. So if I bring it up a bit, it'll just make the colors more vivid. You can see a preview will show you before and after. See how those colors really are starting to pop a little bit? And then saturation, if I bring it all the way to 0, it's going to turn it into a black and white. But there's better ways to do black and white, so we're not going to do that. So let's bring it up a little bit. That's almost too much. He's a bit cartoony, so we're going to bring it back a little. And then this eyeball, this preview is pretty cool, before and after. I definitely like that more, so I'm going to say OK. And now we can kind of see what I've done. All I've done is pop the colors a little bit, and you could be done with that image, right? If I'm done with that image, so I've cropped it first, then I just play with the color a little bit. I can merge it down, meaning I can make it so it's one picture again, and I can right click and say merge down. Now you wouldn't have to. If you save this as a JPEG, it'll do this anyway, but I'll just do it now. Some things take a little bit longer. Your internet might be faster than mine, but I'm just going to wait for it to think its way through merging it down. All it's doing is taking this top layer now that we're done and merging it to the bottom layer. There. And now all I got to do is save it back to my computer. To do that, I'm going to go File, and it's not save as anymore. It's called export as. So I'm going to export it as a JPEG. And it says save for web. That's fine. I always crank the quality all the way up. It's going to be a JPEG. It's going to be fine in quality, 100%. Don't worry about the width and the height, really. Leave it alone. And then you can see that it's going to be a large JPEG, and I'm going to hit save. And now it's going back into my downloads, right? So I can click on that, and it'll open it up for us. And you can see it's just another JPEG. So you go back down into your downloads. It will be the same name, except with a 1 in front of it. And it's going to be... now it's in my photo gallery. I'm just showing my photo gallery. Whoops. And that's it. There's my image. Where did it go? It went into my downloads again. And there's the original. And there's my new one cropped a little bit brighter. So I can move that into the desktop wherever I want it to be, right? I can just copy and paste it. Yeah, and that's it for this initial lesson.